Isaac, is there a different mindset that comes for you now, knowing that you've got to be out there 30-plus minutes almost every game?
Just the mindset to just make sure I'm out there playing hard every minute, and really just to give it my all. Now it takes really a more focused mindset and a more maturity out there, especially if I'm being on the floor a lot longer. And it's just really just kind of in a way forcing me to really just season faster than what it's really supposed to be. But I'm never down for the challenge.
The game at West Virginia, Michael goes down very early, and so that's sort of kind of clear then that game that you're going to play a whole bunch. Going back to that game, did your thinking change at all once you realized he wasn't coming back?
I mean, it did, but at the same time, I still stuck to that mentality, really just not to force him to let the game come. And, just really just stay aggressive. And that's really what I'm just trying to do here, just focus. Whatever the team needs me to do or bring extra to, win more games. And that's what I got to do.
Practice-wise this season, you've been matched up with Mike and Mike. Without them now, is it a little bit different? You're not really going against a true ball handler all the time?
It's not really too much different. In practice, even though we do play against each other a lot, we focus a lot on details. And it's not necessarily the competition part that we focus on. We focus on more the execution part and the details of little things like our defense and, rotation, stuff like that. And so really, it was definitely great to have them. And, it does change things a little bit, but, we're still here working hard and staying focused.
How much did your guys' routine change when you weren't able to fly out Friday and just had to go Saturday morning?
I mean, it was changed a little bit, but there's no excuses. We still watched film, we still did our walkthrough, and we still got there to play the game. We didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but we still did the things that we needed to, and we was well prepared. Coach B always gets us well prepared every time, and he had us well prepared to go out there and win. We just didn't come out with the outcome that we wanted.
What did you learn about the Bedlam rivalry the first time you had to play it?
It's much more serious than I thought it was. The first time around, I didn't really play too much. I didn't see what really the importance was. I knew the importance, I just didn't feel the importance. Everybody else really felt it. I didn't really feel it. I knew it in the mind, but in the heart, I didn't really feel it. Now I kind of really, feel the importance of the rivalry. And it was a learning experience the first time around. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens the second time.
You mentioned not getting to play too much. I think afterwards, Mike said you just didn't have it that day. Is it kind of nice that you're going to get a chance to redeem yourself?
It was more of that day was more of a me thing. I wasn't, my mind wasn't in the right place. I wasn't focused that day. And, Coach B did what he had to do for the team to have his best opportunity to win. And that was me not being on the floor, which I was perfectly fine with. And now just, on Wednesday night, have an opportunity to go out there and play. I'm just going to give them all, and hopefully we come out with the W.
Since that game, what have you learned, or how have you improved in terms of avoiding those early fouls that can kind of get you on the bench?
I really just stopped committing dumb fouls whenever they're not needed, especially with being down to a little less bodies. Definitely managing my fouls is something that I've been focusing on lately. Can't really have really tic-tac fouls like slapping at the ball whenever the rebound is 94 feet away from the basket or anything like that. So I just really make a circle on how I can use my fouls and manage it.
Has that been a focal point for you guys since Wednesday's news of really trying to avoid fouls in practice in those conversations?
He didn't really stress that to us because he wants us to still play our same aggressive defense and still have the same aggressive mindset. So, as long as we go out there and play, I think everything will be fine. Now, all the players, we do have that in our minds, make sure we're not fouling too much. But at the same time, though, we didn't really just stress that to make sure that we didn't take away our aggressiveness on defense. So.
You mentioned you knew what the rivalry was about, but you didn't feel it. Do you feel like Yor and Duncan kind of had the same approach to you, being guys who aren't from Oklahoma?
I can't really speak for them, but I feel like, sometimes in order to understand a rivalry, you have to experience it for the first time, And, it was our first time being in that. None of us are from Oklahoma. And I just can't explain. I really just didn't feel it the first time around. But this second time, it feels different. I really feel the rivalry. And I feel like everybody in that locker room is really ready to go out there and play. And everybody wants to win badly.
You guys changed defenses a lot against Iowa State. It seemed like you did some 1-3-1, 2-3, and man. How tricky is that to sort of switch on the fly and look at the middle of the game?
It's really not too bad, Coach B, like always, prepares us very well. We practiced it to switch multiple defenses at any time. And we did our best. I think we did really good for our first time actually going out there and playing some of those zones. And I just look to see what we can do going forward on those zone defenses. And I feel like we did a really good job. And just as long as we focus and stay aggressive on the defensive game, that's going to lead us to good wins.
Adding that zone to your defense, what do you feel like it does for you guys?
It feels like it gives teams a different look. Because we are actually a great defensive team, and we have a lot of length on the team. And so whenever we throw that zone out there or go back to man or throw a different zone out there, I really feel like it makes the offense on the other side think. And really just it gives them a different look every time.
This is the last one now, but can you take me through that dunk against West Virginia? You had Zagwa open in the corner. That kind of seemed like the safe play, but were you just feeling it at that point?
Actually, it's funny because at the moment I wasn't even really just thinking about the dunk at the time. I was just really trying to win the game. But whenever I went back and watched it, I was more looking at the bench and my man Isaac Rosenthal over there on the side. He was going crazy. That's really what I look at when I watch the dunks. My man Isaac Rosenthal on the bench, and they was more excited than I was, and that just lets me know like them guys my brothers, and it's really great to have people like that. But that was the past. But I look forward to making many more highlights and just playing hard. I feel like as long as I just keep playing hard and remain aggressive, anything can happen.
After the news of what happened Wednesday, how is Coach Boynton helping y'all really make sure you're focused on basketball and locked in?
He's really just making everything just feel comfortable. We understand the situation, but none of us really just was down on the situation, was sad about it. Coach B the next day came in with great energy. And he just told us, let me handle that stuff off the court. Y'all just focus on the court. Because, as soon as we get focused on the off-court stuff, then, we're not focused as much as we should be on the court. And that's when losses pile up. So, we just want to just come out here, win, play hard for the fans. And, we're going to play with the people that's in